Good morning, Greg here, burning at both ends, burning on the front end of Saturday. It is June 2nd, 2018. It just struck 6 a.m. Pacific. And so, excited for the weekend, getting ready to go to Colorado on Monday. So it's going to be a great family weekend. I'm just going to get right into it. So this is going to be, I think, one of these shorter posts. And you know what? It's funny, I say that, and then I realize that the posts don't get shorter. I've kind of come to this conclusion now that it's hard for me to talk for like less than 15 minutes, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So this kind of post is going to be kind of like a preview of what's going to come during iCore, where it's going to be mostly just kind of like what I'm involved in, and I'm really stuck on these phrases: hot throw and cold throw. I really like that. I like this jargon. I like the way it forces me to think. I'm almost like leveraging Gary Vaynerchuk's clouds and dirt concept and just making one of my own kind of versions of that. And so essentially what I'm going to be talking about today is the hot throw for the weekend and the cold throw for the year. And so my hot throw is, this is like the near-term direct actions I'm taking to elevate my game. The cold throw is this long-term vision, my personal brand. This is this concept for my men's team, the man I always wanted to be. It's essentially, it's a place I'll never get to, but I'm always going towards. And that's critical. I mean, because if I get there, then it means the vision wasn't big enough, right? It's kind of like that. And so, as you guys know, I'm really into Gary Vaynerchuk. Really dig his content. And I have this kind of new theory here. I keep messing with my hat here. That he's like my mentor, like my virtual mentor. And it's interesting. I mean, he posts so much content that I just feel really connected to him in some odd way, and it's interesting because I see people call in and ask questions, and I'm almost thinking like I don't even have a question to ask. I mean, there's so much content that he puts out that it's like I'm just filled with stuff, and there's essentially no question I can think of. And I've listened to so much content, and even if I have a question, it seems like I can kind of like go into my brain and access that content and answer the question based on what I've heard from him already. So so he has this clouds and dirt concept, right? This kind of his metaphor for the macro and micro thinking. The short-term execution versus the long-term vision, right? The clouds is the long-term vision, the dirt is the short-term execution. And I'm also as I mentioned, I'm into jargon, and so I have my phrases, from the candle making industry, the burn at both ends brand, the hot throw versus the cold throw, and so I'm beginning to use these terms in my language just for fun, just to remind myself to think about these things because they're so critically important. And I had kind of mentioned this about this success step. This kind of, the culmination of several actions leading to some like major milestone where now it's a different world, and like needing this like continuum through all this work that I'm doing, right? It can't just be random acts of hard work, right? I need to be building something, or else it's kind of useless, right? And part of it is just kind of like wiggling around and just starting to do stuff that I've never done before, and then see what happens, and then latch on to things that happen that seem to be right, and then move them forward. So there can be some like initial randomness of it, but at some point, like kind of the chaos has to converge and move in a direction. And when I say chaos, I mean just the chaos of just changing the way I'm working in life, changing the way I'm showing up. Right, it kind of creates some chaos. It kicks up some weird things. It kicks up some odd responses from certain people in my life. It kicks up some odd reactions of myself to this new routine or this new lifestyle. Especially like mental chatter, if you will. Things that are going to try to convince me to not do this thing that's uncomfortable or takes a lot more work, or like burn at both ends. I mean, 2 posts a day. It definitely takes some discipline and some self-control to bang these out, and also to put out good content. And that's what I hope I'm doing. I hope I'm putting out good content. That's the whole point of this. And like I said, it just helps me think and process things, and so I'm really digging it. But anyway, so this hot throw, cold throw just helps me stay on top of what I'm working on. And then just kind of adding this success step concept, I think, is really critical, because then that creates the continuum of building and moving in a direction, as opposed to randomly doing, stuff. I've linked in the outline Gary V's talk on clouds and dirt. I've also linked my talk from May 18th from New York City on voice and jargon, where I first introduced the hot throw, cold throw, and I related it in that post to marketing. But I'm expanding the concept into just overall, just over, almost can be applied to anything, not just marketing. But so we got hot throw versus cold throw. So the hot throw, this is like Gary V's dirt. The scent from a candle when it is burning. This is the industry term. So these are my short-term actions. This is like when I'm burning, right? This is when I'm just head down into something thick, into something juicy. Like kind of like what I'm doing today, what I'm doing tomorrow. This is the task list. This is the specific thing. Excuse me. And then we got the cold throw, which is like the clouds. This is the scent from a candle when it's not burning. So this is like the long-term vision. This is what I'm manifesting, what I'm attracting, things like that. And so what's my cold throw right now? I guess I'd say like for the year of 2018, right? This is elevating my game. This is I'm working on my personal brand, which is really what this channel is putting out into the world. This is me. This is like authentically me. And the mess behind is it's funny. I'm a messy person, but if you were like going to my computer, you would find like it's unbelievably organized. It's interesting how my mind works and how different my reality is sometimes to this virtual world that I work in. Because at my job, I'm in a computer all the time. I mean, that's just like I sit behind a computer as an engineer pretty much 90% of the time. And so organization of the computer, I find works very well for me. Organization in the real world, I definitely have challenges with, which is interesting. Being of service is another cold throw. Giving back, right? I got my channel. I'm excited to see some folks show up and ask questions and engage. I work on this for my men's team. I lead this technology team where we're training the men on how to use technology, and things like LinkedIn. Like I sat with a man for an hour the other day, and we just talked about LinkedIn. And he had his iPad, and we just I just kind of went through. This is the basic way to use LinkedIn. This would be a more like advanced way, whereas you want to build a brand through it, so you want to post on a regular basis. But then if you just want the nuts and bolts of how do I connect with people, how do I accept connections, how do I DM people, just kind of very simple things. How do I get my page looking nice? And of course, what I do, I showed up, I Googled, something like LinkedIn tips and tricks or something, or beginner's guide to LinkedIn, and there was actually LinkedIn had a post like the 10 things to do right away that are simple to make your page more professional looking. And so I gave that to him, and then we also just kind of like walk through like the different functions on the iPad, and then he did some things like he accepted some connections, and I showed him on my phone what it looks like for me to receive like a DM, or actually he had my connection was still waiting, and so he clicked on that, and so I just showed him, hey, this is what it looks like on my side, because I think that's important, right, for something like technology. Is I have my vision, like what I see in technology, like my computer, my phone, but then there are other people's phones, and I do something and has a look on both sides. So I think kind of seeing that whole picture is important. Anyway, so that's being of service. And then, a big thing on my mind is, I'm pushing on opportunities to build wealth. And that's kind of a vague, because what does pushing on opportunities really mean? And to me, it means, I'm out there, I'm telling my story, I'm growing my network, I'm talking to people, I'm learning about, about new ideas and new business ideas and business models, and, I'm looking for synergies, and what's really cool is a bunch of these have recently just popped up. All this hard work is really paying off, and so I'm really excited to kind of put these opportunities in my cold throw category, and then kind of like what bounces out of that would be in my hot throw specific actions that I need to do. And it's kind of cool because it's just how they leverage each other and how they work together. And it is the classic metaphor of, you're paddling down a river and I can only see as far as the next bend. And so I need to paddle to the next bend so I can see around it and see what else is there, see where I'm going next. And that's the way I see this kind of cold throw and hot throw. The cold throw is, I'm paddling down the river and I'm on this great journey. The hot throw is, getting to the next bend and then what's at the next bend. So let's go on the hot throw for the weekend. It's the beginning of the month, so I'm going to bang out finances this weekend. I do this thing where, like, the first or second or third of the month, I just hit all my finances for the month, just get them all out of the way. I've developed this really nice system. I have a Google Sheet, and of course all my bank logins, and just in about, it takes like 15-20 minutes to bang out all my finances, pay all my bills, send all the money out that I need to send. And then I can just kind of check that box for the whole month, and I love doing that. I've never been more on top of my finances than right now in my life, and I'm so proud of that. That's taken a lot of work because I can be one of those avoiders with finances, and I don't want to do that. I want to take control of them, so that way, as I build wealth, it kind of makes sense. The other thing is, voice. I'm really into this ENS platform. And so I have this, I recently met someone who's also excited about voice, and so it looks like we're going to try to see if we can work together. And so she has this voice app business plan, and so I'm going to be looking over that. I'm excited about that. I'm getting involved with this gentleman, Peter, from New York City, who has this nonprofit donation widget business, which looks really cool. And the more I think about that business, the more it's totally in alignment with the Burn at Both Ends brand, right? I want to be of service. I want to give back. Thinking about being part of a business that helps nonprofits get more donations so they can do more. To me, that just sounds like that's in perfect alignment with what I'm trying to do in life. It's not on the tech transfer side, but it's on the technology side. There's no doubt about it. It's a lot of exciting things that Peter's put into this company and into this widget that really excite me. And I also get to do customer discovery, because that's one of the key things is I'm going to start talking to nonprofits and start discovering pains and gains, and what type of nonprofits is this widget for. And one of the very impressive things data point that I already got from Peter is we did a call this week, and he knows the customer very well. He knows the objections. He knows the the habits. He knows the type of customers that are going to see the value in what we're putting out. So I'm really excited to learn more and to get into this business. And the more I think about it, the more it beautifully aligns with what I'm trying to do. And I think that's really important, right? Is there needs to be this alignment between the hot throw and the cold throw. I don't just want to get involved in any business to make money. I want to get involved in something that has impact, is doing good, is being of, that aligns with my Burn at Both Ends brand, with this cold throw brand that I'm putting out. So back to the nonprofit widget. I have some customer discovery to do, so I'm going to start reaching out to people. There's that agreement with my employer that we're running through, but I've kind of put that in their court, so I'm waiting to hear back from them. I'm kind of curious as to their reaction. But anyway, and then we got the Colorado trip, so the I-Corps trip. I'm preparing for that. And then another big thing for the weekend is family time. So I want to spend a lot of time with the family, so that way when I leave for Colorado, we're all in good shape to handle me being gone for 5 days. So that's preparation for the family. That's getting the house nice and clean, getting the fridge stocked, so that way my wife has plenty of food for the kids, and she can cook things and make lunches and all that kind of stuff. Because it's really hard when you're by yourself with 2 kids to go shopping. What might take a single person a half an hour is like a 2-hour investment of time. And it's not just the time, it's like the energy it takes to bring these 2 kids through the store. And a lot depends on their behavior. So it's a fascinating thing to see. So yeah, so that's what I'm working on this weekend. I'm really just in this great space with burn at both ends, with the family, with my post last night. I'm learning. I'm sorry, my nose is running a little bit. Just still things to work on. With myself. Really humbling. Yesterday's experience with my daughter, but at the same time, really excited about these really cool things that are happening. And then, I think we're going to do grandma's house this weekend, go to the pool. It's going to be hot. I think we have some birthday parties to go to. And should be a great day. So hope you enjoyed the post. Hope you kind of can see this hot throw, cold throw. And subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you're up to, tell me about your journey, right? This is all about the journey. This is all about things I'm using on my journey that are giving me success. So I want to hear about what you're up to. I'd love to hear tips and tricks. If I can help, I would love to be of service. So please ask questions, give me some problems to solve. I love solving problems. And I've linked some really good motivational videos down in the description. Check those out. That's what really set me on this path for 2018. Watch the Gary Vaynerchuk Clouds and Dirt video. It's good to kind of get some of his concepts in here. Let's see what else. So yeah, there's a lot of music linked down below, some psychedelic ambient, some DJ sets. I'll put a new one in today. It's this new DJ. I went to Tasha Blank's. I'm really into her right now. Her SoundCloud, and she has not only her tracks, but she has her tracks that she recommends, and so she put together some nice playlists of something like mixes to live by or something like that, DJ mixes to live by. And so I'm really digging that. So DJ Sabo, Sabo, I'm really into that. So I'll put one of his DJ sets down below. And then of course the psychedelic ambient guy, love what he puts together. And then the beats in the background, those G Money, that's my alter ego. So if you're digging the beats, you can go to SoundCloud. There's a link down there. You can check those out. And we'll end there. So much again for the short post. We're going to be past 17 minutes, but it's how I roll. I find these posts to be really helpful, and just kind of getting things straight in my mind. I guess there's a lot of value to saying things out loud, even though I'm just talking to a camera. So anyway, y'all have a great day. Go out, inspire someone, do some amazing things today, and I'll talk to you later.